Hello everyone, this is Claudia here from the Bookkeeping Experts. We're back for more information on QuickBooks Online. We want to make your life easier. If you're a business owner, we wanted to understand where is your point of reference so you can aim your business and your goals and you know exactly where you are. Now, if you are an accountant or bookkeeper, we wanted to get those books up to date for your clients so that they can have the right point of reference. Today, we're going to talk about uncategorized assets. We're going to tell you how it happened and how to fix it. So, without much further ado, we're going to go straight into QuickBooks Online. All right. Here we are. Okay, so the first thing that I wanted to show you is the balance sheet. Uncategorized asset, of course, is an asset account, and it happened a lot in the past because QuickBooks had on the categorization had a setting just to pre-assign certain accounts into uncategorized assets. They fixed everything, but I'm sure a lot of you will see this item in your balance sheet and not know how to fix it. Okay, now one thing to remember is that if it is a transfer, which most of those are, and you already reconciled the account, you're not going to be able to change this into a different categorization. You can change the transfer account into another, maybe equity account, or another asset account, yes, but you cannot change that into an expense, for instance. So we're going to show you both ways on how to fix it, and we're going to go from there. So this is the list of those transactions which are uncategorized. So we can find it on your balance sheet. So I'm looking at the balance sheet last year. I see the uncategorized assets. If I click on it, all those transactions are going to show up here. So if I click on these transactions, okay, it's going to open up for me and it's going to show the details of this transfer. Now, this transaction in particular, it's not supposed to be a transfer. It's supposed to be an expense, but here I cannot change it because it's recorded as a transfer. So in this case, I'm gonna have to click on this online banking match and unmatch it. This way I'm gonna change it back to for review. If you are reconciled, it's gonna scream at you and say, oh, you already reconciled this account, so you're gonna mess up your reconciliation. That's true. I'm gonna show you how to fix it, or if you can undo the reconciliation. If you have many of those, the best way is just to undo the reconciliation and then redo it again. So we have a few of those L's, so we're gonna unmatch, click on more, delete. Okay, so I'm taking this. Remember, I am not deleting the transaction. When I unmatch the transaction, I'm actually bringing it from review back to for review. So I'm not deleting the transaction. I'm just bringing it back to for review and deleting that incorrect categorization. So we're going to do a couple of those now. Let's suppose that this one is actually supposed to be owner's distribution. So because owner's distribution is an equity account, I can actually record as a transfer. So I don't have to bring it back to for review. I can change it right here. So I can put on owner's distribution, or let's see, distribution. No, so personal. Yep, personal expense. All right, it is an equity account, so nothing is changed here, just the categorization. So this is taking this transaction out of this file as well. Let's see this one, and let's suppose this one also is personal distribution. You can put personal expense or or owner's distribution or partner distribution. All of those are equity accounts, right? So let's suppose that this one is another expense account. So I'm gonna have to bring it back to for review. Okay. And this one as well is another this is another expense. So I cannot, like I said, if it is expense, I can't do that. I can't just transfer, right? Okay, so here is money coming from uncategorized asset to fair winds to the bank account. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it transferring from owner's investment, if that's the case. Okay, owner's investment. So suppose that the owner is actually putting this money into there. What if you're just depositing your cash, like you're depositing, let's suppose your clients pay you with cash and you're just depositing it into the account? So you can change that as well, as transferring out of the cash account, okay? So this is American Express Rewards. So I am going to have to categorize that. I cannot just put it as a transfer unless, yeah, which, you know, if it's a bank, if it is a business credit card, yes, you have to categorize. All right. So we're going through all those transactions. We're almost there, just a few more. And all these are going to go back to for review so that we can categorize them correctly. Okay. Oh, once again, I cannot, because this is supposed to be a categorization. Okay. Now this is coming out of the cash account, and let's suppose that this I never deposited, so I can put on personal, owner draw. Oh, we do have owner's draw, right? Okay. And keep in mind that it says that it's been reconciled. So if I'm just recategorizing, it should be okay. But if I am unmatching, then I will have to fix it. Okay. All right. So this one is also being deposited in there, and I'm just gonna put owner's investment. And I just have a few more. This is the payment from owner's investment into the credit card. Okay. Owner's investment. All right. Just one more. Okay, this one I do have to unmatch and delete. Okay, that's it. So now all those transactions that we undid, it's gonna go back to uncategorized transactions. Okay. Oh no, I'm sorry. To for review transaction. It was categorized. Now it's for review. Okay. So now I actually have to categorize it correctly. Okay. For the Zelle, for instance, I'm gonna put vendor. So you can put the vendor name on this. And then I can put what it is. Let's suppose that it was a contractor. Okay. And this one is supposed to be insurance. Okay. So this time I have those transactions back to for review, and I'm gonna categorize them the way that they are supposed to be categorized. Now, what happens if the transaction, so you just have to go through those transactions, right? What happened if those transactions were already reconciled? So what you're gonna do is go into those transactions and make sure that you can manually reconcile them. Okay, so let's take a look at this one. This might have a few one of those. Let's see if I have 2023. Yeah. Okay, so those transactions, for instance, were already reconciled. So I can actually choose all of them. I'm gonna edit them. I am going to say it's not a transfer, it's a credit card credit. I'm gonna put a max. Okay, and here I'm gonna put what it was. Rewards, credit card rewards. So it's actually an other income account, and I have a few more. I just have to go through those. Okay, let's see. We're gonna take a look and see how far this was. This one was not reconciled, but I know that there's some of them that were reconciled, so I can actually take a look at the ones that were reconciled. Okay, this is the books review. So okay, the cash account was reconciled, so we can take a look at the cash account, and we're gonna know that the cash account now is off because we undid the reconciliation for some of the transactions. So if I click on reconcile here, I'm gonna see a red flag. Oh, not the cash. Okay, so you would see a red flag. This one has not been reconciled, so you're not gonna see it. But if you had reconciled, the way you fix it, I'm gonna verify one of the accounts that have. You're gonna fix it by clicking on this little funnel. You're gonna put the date, nothing on the front date, but on the to date, you're gonna put the date of the last reconciliation, which was May 31. And on the reconcile status, you're gonna put not reconcile and apply. Okay, so you'll see those transactions over here, and those are the transactions that were not, or in other words, that we had to undo the reconciliation because it was incorrectly reconciled. So we brought it back to for review. We categorized it correctly. So what you need to do in this case is just click on the little box here and manually reconcile those transactions. Okay, so this is just a sample account, so it's not properly set up, but you want to make sure that you do that just if you have the red flag, because if you have the red flag, it means that you had undone transactions. Now in this case, I have not. This is just a simple account, so it's not all detailed and reconciled the way it's supposed to, but that's how you fix that. All right, so this is how you fix. So if we go take a look at our reports right now, So you'll see that all uncategorized transactions are out of the way. Now keep in mind, after you undo the uncategorized transaction, is going to go back to for review. So you will have to categorize those transactions again. And this time correctly. Make sure that it's not going to uncategorized asset, that it's going to be categorized for whatever it's supposed to be. So if it is owner's distribution or owner's equity, you want to do that. If it is supposed to be an expense, you want to categorize as an expense. And then after that, go into the bank feed and make sure that if it was reconciled before, that those transactions are manually reconciled. But before you manually reconcile, you want to make sure that you know that those are the transactions that need to be reconciled. Okay. Now, if there is any transactions sitting on the bank feed that have not been reconciled and you have reconciled the account, it means that there's some discrepancy on the account and you want to make sure you fix that. At times, it is necessary to undo the reconciliation. Keep in mind that only an accountant or an accountant account can undo the reconciliation. So if you're a business owner, you may have to ask your bookkeeper or your accountant to undo the reconciliation so you can redo it. All right, so that is it. Oh yes, we're going to show the balance sheet. And it's last year. And we're going to see that the uncategorized assets have been fixed and we no longer have that, right? Keep in mind, this is a sample account, so there's a lot of things that we're going to be working on here, including a negative account. See, negative credit card account, what it means is that we have not recorded the expenses correctly, or that there is definitely discrepancy here. We recorded payments, but we didn't record the liability. Can credit card accounts be negative? Yes, but usually not for much, but because basically what you're saying is that this account has been overpaid. Same thing with the loan accounts. We're going to talk about that another time. Today it was just to fix uncategorized assets, and we're gonna go back here. All right, so hopefully this was useful to you. So this is how we fix uncategorized asset. Like I said, if it is uncategorized asset that you can transfer to another equity account or another asset account, yes, you can just go ahead and change that right on that list. Just recategorize when you open up. Now if it is an error of categorization, and if it is an expense, or if you have to categorize as something else, you will need to undo the transaction. So by unmatching, bring it back to for review, delete that incorrect transfer because we don't want it there. Remember, we're not deleting the expense, or we're not deleting the transaction. We're just bringing it back to for review. After bringing it up to for review, you will categorize the transaction correctly. And then if you had already reconciled, you want to fix that reconciliation. So undo it if you can, if there's many transactions. If you can't, if you're a business owner, you don't have that possibility, you want to carefully verify which transactions you undid the categorization. A lot of times I make a list of those transactions and then go back and verify those transactions on the account register and manually reconcile them. Keep in mind that if you undo a reconciliation that has manually reconciled transactions, you have to manually unreconcile those transactions as well, because even if you delete the reconciliation, if you manually reconcile, it is not going to delete that reconciliation. So you have to manually undo that as well. So hopefully this was useful to you. There's lots of information here. So if you do have further question, write down below. We're going to get right back to you, I promise you. If you like this content, please share with your co-workers, your friends, and with the world. and subscribe to our channel. We come back twice a week now, and we're gonna tell you, we're gonna get better and better and better. That's my vow to you. So that you can get all the updates and stay ready to keep those accounts up to date at any time and at no cost to you. So subscribe to our channel and share with your friends. This is the way that we can come back with more content and more information for you. So thank you so much for watching and spending this time with me. I hope you come back for more. And until next time, keep on smiling.